Good morning, Akwaibom. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Um, I am compelled to talk about the Ini Umoren rape and murder case. We have either of two options. We can either treat this as an isolated incident. Okay, we convict the murderer and his accomplices, and we go on business as usual. Or we use this as a wake-up call to address the ills of our society. Akwaibom, the honeymoon is over. The honeymoon is over. The days where we pretend that everything is normal, everything is okay, and we just carry on, like jolly fellows. That time is over. It's really over. And why are we acting surprised that a girl like Ini Umoren could be raped and killed? Well, is this the first time it's happened? It's not the first time. These things have been going on. Is it because this time it was reported or it was made a national issue? This has been going on for years. We've been accommodating these things in our villages, in our communities. We've normalized this. We've accepted it as normal behavior, and there's no public outcry, no real outrage towards this. And so it shouldn't surprise us that the evil has now come to our doorstep. Let me ask you a question. Where was your outrage years ago in the 90s up until the mid-2000s when cultism was the order of the day on our universities? Do you have any idea the number of girls that were raped on a daily basis? Rape became a culture on our universities. Let me ask you a question now. Those guys who were raping and killing back in the day, and we turned a blind eye and acted like it was normal, where do you think they are now? Where do you think they are now? They are now men. They are now fathers and grandfathers, occupying influential positions. Some may not be so influential, but you can be sure that some of them might be in juicy positions. Who knows? They might even be in the judiciary. Who knows? You might have some in government positions. Who knows if we could have some of them as local government chairmen today? Who knows if we could have them as part of our security parastatal today? Who knows where they could be? But one thing is certain, they are part of society now. They are part of society. They might even be the lawmakers. Who knows where they are now? But we can be very sure that we'll find a lot of them in politics, considering the wayward and violent lifestyle of the average Nigerian politician. We can be sure that we'll find quite a number of those people there. And if they are in politics, you can be sure that a few of them might squeeze themselves into places of power and influence. So no wonder society is crumbling. No wonder. What do you think the son of a rapist will be like? What do you think a son of a rapist will be like? Now, you see, one of the reasons why a lot of men in Akwaibom cannot come out and openly condemn rape is because a lot of them have their hands soiled. Some of them have repented. Some of them might even be pastors today. But they can't come out openly and say and condemn rape. Otherwise, somebody might remember something they did in the past. So they're living in fear. And that fear seals their lips and allows evil to grow. That silence has become a fertile ground for evil to spread and thrive. Let me tell you, Ini Umoren's death is a wake-up call for every one of us. Worse things than this will continue until we sit ourselves down and begin to address the ills of our society. We can no longer continue to play games and pretend that everything is normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal for people to lure innocent women to a place, rape them and kill them, and sell their body parts. That's more than wickedness we're talking about. This is a mental health issue. A lot of those boys who were violating girls on campus, those are children from troubled homes. We never addressed the root cause. Locking rapists up is not the solution. It might be necessary, but we're not. But that's just treating the symptom of the problem. It's not the problem itself. We're not treating the problem itself. Maybe it's after the person has raped and killed that we now lock them up. Of what use is that? Why don't we look for ways of preventing such horrors? Why do we have to wait until somebody dies before we step in? There's something really, really wrong. And this culture that we have in Uyo now, that everybody, not just Uyo, but Akwaibom generally, where we're busy wrecking people's homes by sleeping with people's wives. It has now become a culture. It's something we celebrate now. We now celebrate. There's nothing to hide. Do you know the impact it has on the children? Do you know that by doing that as a married woman or as a married man, it will be used to mock your children? Do you know the psychological effect on the children? Do you know what it is for a child not to have parents that they can be proud of? Do you know the psychological trauma that affects a child? Do you know what it is for a son or a daughter to walk in to a room and see the father's driver or the father's friend on top of the mother, or to see the father having sex with the housemaid? Do you know? Or see the father having sex with the wife's friend? Do you know what it does to a child? Do you know what it does to a child? Some of these people you see acting crazy, some of these adults you see acting crazy, is as a result of those kinds of trauma. And the families now break apart. Father catches mother, mother catches father, they break up and go apart, and the children suffer as a result of that. And you're going to be having more and more of killers like this fellow who's responsible for raping Ini Umoren. That may not have been the cause of this fellow's insanity, but you can be sure that things like this contribute to it. So this is time for us to tell ourselves the truth. This is time for a total overhaul of society. You want to tell me that you don't know that our politicians, a lot of them are in cults, and a lot of them, human sacrifice is done on their behalf? You want to tell me you don't know? You know these things now. You know this. This is nothing, you know. You want to tell me you don't know this? You want to tell me that you don't know that there are business people who get into all kinds of fetish things, go into native doctors and demand human sacrifice? You want to tell me you don't know? You want to tell me you don't know, Akwaibom? You don't know that these things happen? If you encourage these things in your societies, these evils will come. One day it will come to your doorstep. One day it will come, the evil will come breaking down your door. When are we going to stop? Akwaibom, when are we going to grow up? When are we going to grow up? This freestyle living that we're living, freestyle, nothing is organized, nothing is planned, people are living anyhow. We can't continue. The damage we are creating will create more damaged people, and damaged people damage others. You think in Umoren's cases, don't worry, things you will see worse things if we don't sit ourselves down and have a sincere conversation with ourselves and chart the way forward and begin to address the ills. Number one, rape must not be allowed to thrive. It must not be accepted in Akwaibom. It must not be normalized. We must learn to speak out, and there must be no hiding place, whether it is your brother, your sister, your uncle, whoever is involved in sexual violence against women. You should not accommodate it. You should not pretend it does not exist. Throw a blind eye. Turn a blind eye, you know? Like as if it doesn't happen, as if you don't know what's happening. You see, evil is not something you can contain. You can't contain evil. Evil is rebellious. It will always break the ranks. You can't contain it. And it has no master. Evil has no master. Evil has only expendable allies. It needs you for a while. Then it gets rid of you. Or it eats you up. So don't think that because you are the one inflicting the pain on others, that tomorrow that evil cannot inflict the same pain on you. It is time. This is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call. Let me tell you, before this nonsense civilization that Europeans brought to us came, you couldn't try this nonsense in the past. If a girl was raped if a man came from another another community and raped a girl, maybe by the stream on the way to the farm, the men from the other community, the chiefs, they would hold a meeting and they would demand for the head of that fellow. And if the community he comes from decides to protect him, the men here will sharpen their knives and spears and they would go to war. The men will stand up for the women in their society. Before this nonsense thing we call civilization came in and just messed us up. We are now using chicken feed to feed cattle. That's what we're doing. Something that belongs to chicken, we are now using it to feed cattle. It doesn't work for us. We need to build our own systems. But most importantly, we need to stand up for our women. We need to, the men, if we are truly men, we need to stand up for our women. No cultists should be able to come and be raping women anyhow and we just keep quiet. Nah, then we're not men. Rape our mothers and sisters and we keep quiet because they are cultists? Ha! Then we better castrate ourselves. What are we carrying that thing between our legs for? We're not men anymore. What rubbish is that? Rape our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, our nieces, our aunties, and we'll just be looking like Lucozade. Then we'll be going to that circus they call court, where they'll be playing games with you, play games with you in the court until nobody remembers the case. Then everybody goes back to business as usual until the next victim makes the headlines. My brother, my sisters, this is a wake-up call. This nonsense has to stop. How could this young man have been doing this? I saw the video when somebody was taking the camera around the building. See the amount of certificates, birth certificates, NYC certificates. That means so many people had been his victims. How could so many people have been this man's victim for so long and nobody in that community knew? Nah, it's a lie. So many people are complicit. So many are complicit. How can that such evil be going on in a community for so long and everybody is quiet? You can't tell me people in that community didn't know. There must be people in that community that knew. Yes. People who were aiding and abetting, or at least people who were turning the blind eye, pretending they didn't know what was going on. This is so unfortunate. It's disgraceful. This is a shame on all of us in Akwaibom. It's a shame. None of us should go to bed and sleep well. We shouldn't go to bed and sleep well until we have put an end to this culture. Because this guy is not this, I don't know what is it, Black, whatever they call him. He's not the only one doing this. He's not the only one doing this. He's not the only one doing this. Okay, it's because she was raped and killed. If she was just raped, everybody would have gone back to business as usual. But because they killed her, now there's hypocritical outcry by hypocrites. By hypocrites. Because she was killed. If they say they rape and just kill him. If they say they rape and they don't kill him, if for better, God punish you there. You go better. That the woman is raped and it is okay because they didn't kill her. God punish you and your generation. This girl is not related to me. doesn't come from the same local government. She could have been an Igbo girl, Yoruba girl, Hausa girl, whoever. But the fact that we can accommodate this kind of evil on our land for so long tells a whole lot about us as a people. There's evil on our land, though. There's evil on our land. And if we don't do anything about that evil now, if we don't do anything about it, if we as a people collectively do not collaborate and look for ways to get rid of this evil, then there'll be, oh no, I'm telling you, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a big problem. This is my message to you. This is my message to you. We need to talk to ourselves. We need to work on ourselves. The society needs a total overhaul. Thank you for listening.